Good morning, children. So we have come to the end of this lesson, that is materials, metals and non-metals. So today I am going to start with the topic that reaction with water. Okay, reaction with water. Can you see the slide, children? Okay, so let us see now how the metals and non-metals react with water. Sodium metal is very reactive. It reacts vigorously with oxygen and water. A lot of heat is generated in the reaction. It is therefore stored in kerosene. Okay. Sodium metal is very reactive. It reacts vigorously with oxygen and water. And lot of heat is generated in the reaction. So it is therefore stored in the kerosene. So like this similar, we'll study some more activities. Okay. Yes, children, one more activity. See this. Take a 250 ml beaker or a glass tumbler. Fill half of it with water. Now carefully cut a small piece of sodium metal. Okay, dry it using filter paper. Dry it means, so whatever, if it is moist, so you have to dry it by using some filter paper and wrap it in a small piece of cotton. Put the sodium piece wrapped in cotton into the beaker. So observe carefully. What happens? So once again go through it. Take a 250 ml beaker or a glass tumbler. Fill half of it with water. Now carefully cut a small piece of sodium metal and dry it using filter paper and wrap it in a small piece of cotton. Okay. Put that sodium piece wrapped cotton into the beaker. Okay. Now observe carefully. What happens, children? When reaction stops, touch the beaker. Means whatever the reaction will be going on when you put the piece of sodium into the glass. So now touch the beaker. After when the reaction stops, touch the beaker. What do you feel? Test the solution with red and blue litmus paper. Is the solution acidic or basic? What you have to find out, whether the solution is acidic or basic. Okay. What do you observe, children? You observe that sodium reacts vigorously with water. Some either metals do not do so. For example, iron reacts with water slowly. So generally, non-metals do not react with water, though they may be very reactive in air. Such non-metals are stored in water. For example, phosphorus is a very reactive non-metal. It is a non-metal. It catches fire if exposed to air. Means if it is kept open in the air, it catches the fire. So to prevent the contact of phosphorus with atmospheric oxygen, it is stored in water. Why it is stored in water? If it is exposed to air, it catches the fire. So it is always stored in the water. Okay. So children, we'll do one more activity. What is that? Take samples of metals and non-metals. Okay, both you have to take in separate test tubes and label them as A, B, C, D, E and F. With the help of a dropper, means whatever the metals and non-metals, for example, magnesium you can take, aluminum foil you can take, iron fillings you can take, copper peeled flexible wire, that also you can take, charcoal powder you can take, sulfur powder you can take. Okay, some metals as well as non-metals. Okay, so you have to take it in a separate test tube and label them as A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, with the help of a dropper, add 5 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid to each test tube one by one. What you have to add? You have to add 5 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid to each test tube one by one. Okay, observe the reactions carefully. If no reactions occur in the cold solution, warm the test tube gently. Warm means little bit you have to heat it. Okay. Bring a burning matchstick near the mouth of the test tube. What happens? Okay. Record the same activity using some other dilute sulfuric acid. Instead of dilute hydrochloric acid, you can use dilute sulfuric acid also, and see the observation. Means see the record your observation. What happens to that? Okay. Now what you observe, children, by using some different chemicals, is there any difference in the way metals and non-metals react with the acids? So what could the pop sound in some cases be due to when a burning matchstick is brought near the mouth of the test tube? Yes. You must have found that the non-metals generally do not react with the acids, but metals react with acids and produce hydrogen gas that burns with the pop sound. Okay. So these are the some reactions which gives with the when forms with the acid. Okay, children. Okay, children. Now one more activity, that is reaction with bases. Now till now we have learned the reaction with water as well as the acid. Now reaction with the bases. So can you see the slide, children? What you have to do, just I will go through it. Prepare a fresh solution of sodium hydroxide in a test tube by dissolving 3 to 4 pellets of it in 5 ml of water. Okay. Drop a piece of aluminum foil into it. Bring a burning matchstick near the mouth of the test tube. Observe carefully. What happens? Just you only imagine, children. Prepare a fresh solution of sodium hydroxide in a test tube by dissolving 3 to 4 pellets of it in 5 ml of water. Means only little bit you have to take and you have to dissolve it in the water. Drop a piece of aluminum foil into it. Bring a burning matchstick near the mouth of the test tube. Okay. What happens? Yes, obviously some pop sound will be indicated. What is that pop sound? Pop sound indicates the presence of hydrogen gas. It indicates the presence of hydrogen gas in the solution. So metal reacts with sodium hydroxide to produce hydrogen gas. So reactions of non-metals with the bases are complex. Understood, children? So it shows that hydrogen gas is present in the solution. Okay. Okay, children. Now we are going to study about the displacement reactions. Okay. So displacement reaction. So one activity I am going to tell. What is that? Take 500 ml beakers. How many beakers? 5 beakers of measuring 100 ml. Label them A, B, C, D and E. Okay. Dissolve in each beaker a teaspoonful of each substance. Okay. Keep the beakers undisturbed for some time. Okay. And you have to record your observation. Isn't it? Okay. Children, what you are going to take in beaker A? Note here. See there. Beaker A, copper sulfate plus zinc granule. Beaker B, copper sulfate plus iron nail. Okay. Beaker C, zinc sulfate plus copper turnings. Okay. Beaker D, iron sulfate plus copper turnings. Beaker E, zinc sulfate plus iron nail. These are the things which are taken in the beaker. Understood? Okay, children. What changes do you observe in the various beakers? So you have read that one metal displaces another metal from its compound in aqueous solution. Okay. So in beaker A, what you have taken in beaker A? Copper sulfate plus zinc. Zinc replaces copper from copper sulfate. So that is why the blue color of copper sulfate disappears and a powdery red mass of copper is deposited at the bottom of the beaker. Okay, the reaction is taken place. So can you see the reaction which is given in the slide there? Copper sulfate plus zinc gives zinc sulfate plus copper. Understood? So these are the reactions which is formed in beaker A. Children, there could have been displacement of zinc by copper in beaker C and by iron in beaker E, because we have added iron nail in beaker B, isn't it? And copper turnings in beaker C. So since we do not see any change in the beaker C, we can infer that copper is not able to replace zinc from zinc sulfate. Okay. When zinc can replace copper in beaker A, why cannot copper replace zinc in beaker C? Because it follows some definite rules based on the facts. That is, rule is here that zinc is more reactive with copper and iron. Okay, a more reactive metal can replace a less reactive metal, but a less reactive one cannot replace a more reactive metal. Okay, now you can understand what is the displacement reactions. Nothing but the chemicals get exchanged there. Okay, that is called nothing but the displacement of reactions. Okay, so displacement reaction in beaker D and E also same thing. Okay. Okay children, now we have come to the end part of this lesson, that is uses of metals and non-metals. You should be able to guess why metals are used in making machinery, automobiles, aeroplanes, trains, satellites, industrial gadgets, cooking utensils, water boilers, etc. Okay, you are also familiar with the uses of some non-metals. Okay, so some non-metals which are used essential for our daily life. Okay, that also I'm going to tell by using the slides now. See children, here are the some uses of metals and non-metals. Non-metal essential for our life, which all living beings inhale during breathing. Okay, non-metals used in fertilizers to enhance the growth of plants. Means some non-metals are used in the manufacture of fertilizers which are used in the agriculture purposes. Okay, non-metal used in water purification processes, means whatever the process we are having for the water purification, in that process also they are used non-metals. Non-metal used in the purple colored solution which is applied on wounds as an antiseptic, that is in a medicine form which will be in the purple color. So non-metals are used in that solution. So non-metals used in crackers also. You know what do you mean by crackers? You are very familiar with the crackers. Okay. So these are the some uses of non-metals. Understood? Okay. So by here we can come to the end of this lesson, children. So I'm going to start with the another lesson, any other from physics, chemistry or biology. I hope you have understood this. If you have any queries children, you can contact me in the Google Meet and you can solve your queries. Thank you children.